Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
We're learning more about new COVID booster shots when the White House says that variant-specific vaccines will get right here.
We're going to fight and push as long as we can, as far as we can.
One step closer. Parents in Uvalde now hearing when the school district's police chief will face school leaders with his job hanging in the balance and the next step in their fight for accountability.
Plus, it was caught on camera, but went weeks without an investigation. Days after our story aired, San Antonio police have an update. But first, Uvalde CISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo's future with the district could be decided next week, 3 months after the shooting at Robb Elementary.
Yeah, families and community members have been demanding accountability since May 24th. Tonight, they tell the Night Team's Lee Waldman Wednesday's hearing is exactly what they've been waiting for.
It's bittersweet. I mean, it is finally something positive we did want to happen. I also think it's just the beginning.
Finally, but I'm a little wary of what the outcome is going to be.
Hesitant but happy. That's how Amory Jo Garza and Uzziah Garcia's families say they felt hearing about Uvalde CISD's termination hearing for Police Chief Pete Arredondo.
It's still in the back of our mind because we've been playing this back and forth game. We're not going to be happy until the day is finally here and we hear he will be terminated.
Twice before, termination hearings have been delayed at Arredondo's attorney's request. It's part of the reasoning why there's a level of skepticism.
It's all we've seen every time from the school board in the city is, oh, well, this is going to happen, and then it doesn't.
The hearing will happen inside of the Benson boardroom here 3 months to the day of the shooting. Families say this is a step, but not the finish line for accountability.
As I had said at one of the school board meetings, I had told them, whatever it is that y'all needed to do with Pete, start the process with the other ones because we're not going to stop until everyone is out.
Once the full investigation into what happened at Robb Elementary May 24th wraps, these families want every avenue of the law to be utilized.
If it is proven that even one child or teacher, for that matter, could have been saved in those 77 minutes, I feel he should be criminally charged.
And not just him.
Everybody that was with him in that hallway.
He's just the first stop.
I called the district's chosen law firm, Walsh Gallegos, today for a statement on its representation in this hearing. I haven't heard back just yet. As for whether Arredondo will be at the hearing, the families want him there, but doubt he will actually show.
Okay, so let's just say that Arredondo actually does show up to that hearing. What would that mean to the families?
Well, no amount of apologizing is going to bring back their children, going to bring back their loved ones, those teachers. But they said if he goes there, he holds up his hands and says, I take my responsibility in what happened and did not happen that day. It's not going to bring them the closure they want, but at least it offers some level of accountability for them. They just really hope for that result of firing that day, especially if they're being brought out on the 3rd month anniversary of when this shooting happened.
You know, Lee, you get a sense from these parents that they want accountability, not excuses. And it doesn't stop with Chief Arredondo. I mean, there's also a grievance hearing that's going to go forward against the superintendent. What do you know about that?
Well, at this point, we know it's going to happen next Monday, August 22nd. It's going to happen at 6 p.m. The details of what that hearing is going to entail, we're not sure just yet. But those parents, they filed grievances against Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell. They say how they handled the shooting that day and their subsequent behavior afterwards has not been acceptable. They know that the security changes they've been promised aren't ready for 3 weeks from now when school is supposed to start. So those are their grievances they want heard. But what all those grievance hearings entail, we're still waiting on those answers. And once we have them, we're going to bring them right to you.
Yeah, again, they want accountability. They don't want excuses.
Exactly.
Lee Waldman, thank you.
His families have been through so much. And, you know, one person who has seen the suffering from those victims' families up close is San Antonio Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Siller. He helped those families bury their loved ones, and now he's trying to help them heal. In an emotional interview with ABC's John Quinones, the Archbishop urged Governor Greg Abbott to work closer with that community.
We don't need to show power at this time. I will invite the governor to love these people, to love them, to love them.
And the Archbishop there has seen so much, has been dealing with those families, understandably emotional. A lot of people in Uvalde want Governor Greg Abbott to call a special session so that legislators can vote on gun reform. That hasn't happened. You can watch the Archbishop's entire interview right now on KSAT.com.
To other news tonight, San Antonio police shifting efforts on a case of indecent exposure. This is a Nightbeat update tonight. On Friday, a homeowner shared this video of a man at her front door touching himself inappropriately. Despite capturing it on camera several weeks ago, police at the time told us they were not looking into this incident. Days after our story, police now confirm there is an active investigation that's been opened. We asked why. Police have not provided an explanation. The woman who caught the incident on camera says a detective told her the original incident report was not brought to his desk until recently. We'll continue to follow it.
And developing tonight, even 2 years into this pandemic, we still don't have enough nurses.
Yeah, one local hospital wants to change that. The Baptist Health System has a new program aimed at keeping more nurses in the business of saving lives. The Night Team's Patty Santos shows us how.
Nursing is my passion. It's my love, and I love sharing it with anybody that's willing to listen.
For 29 years, Kristen Fox has nursed patients at Baptist Health System and nurtured young nurses joining the field.
Fox says nursing is hard. According to a 2014 study by Policy, Politics, and Nurse Practice, more than 17% of first-time nurses will leave their first job within the first year.
Medical staff have been facing an upward challenge for a while.
Nursing is a very hard, emotional field, and so we have to, as administrators, as hospitals, we have to support our staff.
That's why Baptist Health System is kicking off a new one-year nurse residency program. It caters to newly hired graduated nurses by giving them classes, tools, and mentorship to successfully transition to a high-demanding career.
You also have a place where a group of new nurses can go and support each other and talk about what we're doing to give the best care at the bedside.
That support is what new NICU nurse Martin Nava says convinced him to stay.
I really liked the environment, the community, how everyone helped, and just everyone was very pleased to teach me.
Martin is one of 89 cohorts welcomed to the new nurse residency program. Fox is optimistic the shortage can become manageable.
We are actually seeing an increase in interest in coming back.
And if you're looking for a job in the nursing field or related field, St. Luke's Baptist Hospital here in the Medical Center will be hosting a hiring fair tomorrow from 11 to 2. There's also one on Thursday at their hospital in New Braunfels. We have all the information you need on KSAT.com. Steve, Stephania.
Thank you, Patty. I want to give you an update now on those new COVID-19 boosters people have been talking about. The shot's expected to arrive in just a few weeks in early to mid-September. The White House COVID-19 response coordinator made that announcement tonight. The shot's supposed to protect people from the new BA4 and BA5 coronavirus subvariants. Officials are urging people to get the new boosters as soon as they become available.
Now for a look at your headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. San Antonio City Council discussing yet another option when it comes to an extra $50 million in CPS energy revenue. So we told you about the proposal that would credit you, the customer, about $31 on your October bill. Well, today, one councilman proposed giving customers $75 as long as they live within city limits. Other proposals would put that money toward domestic violence programs, street maintenance, or weatherizing homes. Now, still no word on what's actually going to happen with that money. Of course, as soon as we know, we'll pass it on to you. Now, he used an axe and a machete to kill a woman. A jury found Rafael Castillo guilty of killing Nicole Perry. Just took them an hour to convict Castillo. Several witnesses told a jury they saw Castillo use the weapons on Perry back in 2020. Perry's dismembered body was found in trash bags dumped along the side of a road. And now Castillo faces up to life in prison. New details on that head-on crash involving a Bexar County deputy who was on his way to work. It's an update to a story that we brought to you as breaking news last night right here on the Nightbeat. So now investigators say the woman who crashed into him is 30-year-old Catherine Broomfield. We don't have her mugshot because she's still in the hospital. She's facing a DWI charge. That accident happened on the eastern part of the county near FM 1346 and Loop 1604 yesterday. We know the off-duty deputy hurt his knee. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
It's still ahead on the Nightbeat. Thousands of students will see their loan debts erased, gone. Who will see the benefit and who's still left waiting for details on their own loans? Coming up.
Plus, the first day of school looked different for one of San Antonio's largest school districts. Maybe not to students, but definitely for police at San Antonio ISD. And you're going to see those upgrades next on the Nightbeat. One of the largest local school districts welcomed students to class today. Ahead of their arrival, San Antonio ISD says that they upgraded security and its dispatch system. The night team's John Paul Barajas shows us the new features, including one that should provide crystal clear communication between agencies.
127, from Jefferson,
127, 10-4. Not just a dispatch center, but a command center. San Antonio ISD is going into its first full school year with a state-of-the-art security system, Symphony, that lives up to its name by orchestrating communication with law enforcement.
If we do need to be on one channel, that could be done through this system with a push of a button, integrating SAPD or Bexar County or any constable into our channel, or SAPD can integrate us into their system as they're taking calls.
District Police Captain Armando Holguin says fast, clear communication is just one of the upgrades. SAISD has motion sensor cameras at all its facilities. That way it can detect when someone's walking up to the door. It'll then show that camera to dispatch to make sure the person that's coming is supposed to be here.
SAISD Central Office, how can we help you?
Hi, we're with KSAT. We're here for an interview. The cameras also have facial recognition and are monitored all day, every day.
Monitor threats, calls for service, after hours calls that could affect the school, and we have additional patrol overnight and in the middays that respond to those calls.
Dispatchers are tuned into SAPD radio chatter, watching city outage maps, and checking local headlines, all while looking over campuses, in addition to other safety measures already in place.
So it's constant reevaluation of systems in place with things that we can upgrade and make a better, safer environment for our students.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
126, 10-4.
Student loan debt will disappear for thousands of people. The Department of Education says the move will help many former students who went to the ITT Technical Institute. They had one of those in town. Students who used federal loans to attend the Technical Institute as far back as 2005 will see that debt automatically canceled. That's because investigators say leaders at the school misled students about the quality of their programs in order to profit off the loan programs. That school closed in 2016. In the meantime, other student loan borrowers continue to wait for an update on their loans. The pandemic-related pause on federal student loan payments ends at the end of this month, August 31st. Still no word if it will be extended.
All right, now we're going to take a live look outside. Sky 12 there over the Tobin Center, inside the Tobin Center. I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's the Will Naylor Smith Riverwalk Plaza. It's a room there, and they're going to have belly dancing class there tomorrow from 7 to 8 p.m.
I actually think it's right along the river. I think that's the plaza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see where that screen is there? I think that's considered the plaza.
Okay.
And that they're going to have
Awesome.
outdoor belly dancing. So, you know.
Haven't been there, so forgive me for that. Still getting to know the city, but there it is. You can go there for belly dancing class tomorrow and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, maybe Adam Caskey wants to go down there and bear the midriff.
I have a feeling you'd enjoy that, Adam.
Hey, baby, these hips don't lie.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they do the whatever dance you do there. I don't know if they do the floss.
Oh, yeah, the floss.
Is that your attempt at
That was
Shakira?
so like 2019 for
Was that your attempt
I love
at
me some Shakira.
There
Oh,
you
yeah. Kerrville Stage 1 watering. We just heard from the city of Kerrville today. I want to point that out. For SAWS customers around town, we're still Stage 2 watering. Kerrville now Stage 1. We're watching some tropical energy and moisture in the Caribbean as it heads toward the Gulf, and just one 100-degree day away from the all-time record of 59. All right, we're going to get to temperatures in a moment. First, let's take a look at the rain chances in the days ahead. Tomorrow, just a 10% chance, and we get it up to 30% on Thursday and Friday as a weak boundary drops in. And then Sunday and Monday, 20%. So not the good, widespread, or more numerous shower chances we've been hoping for. We had a few hits on the radar screen earlier today, but really not a whole lot to talk about. Brief splash and dash. Tomorrow afternoon will be similar. Here's what we had over the past couple of days. This wound up low pressure system, good tropical moisture, dumping some much needed rain on parts of West Texas today. I saw Alpine picked up over 2¼ inches of rainfall from this. Drought-stricken West Texas getting some needed rain. We're shifting our focus to the north. This weak frontal boundary, very weak cool front, is going to be dropping southward, and it's going to drop into town and basically stall Thursday and Friday. So here's our future cast. Tomorrow, 10% chance, 1 or 2 rogue pop-up splash and dash showers. The front, however, that boundary should help kickstart a little more activity as we get into Thursday and Friday. This is Thursday, 6 a.m., pretty quiet. We go to noon, still pretty quiet. We get into the afternoon and evening on Thursday. We start to see a little bit of activity in the hill country. This is 3 p.m. according to the Futurecast. That's as the boundary drops southward, and then just some very widely separated or even isolated in nature showers and non-severe thunderstorms likely to pop up Thursday afternoon and evening. And then again, with that boundary still in place, we'll get it again on to Friday. Now, this is what we're watching in the tropics, this little area of energy, thunderstorms, no organization to it really, but it's a cluster of energy and thunderstorms near Nicaragua, pushing to the northwest, and it's likely to make it into the western Gulf of Mexico by Friday, Saturday. Of course, whenever you get some energy moving into the Gulf of Mexico this time of year with the very warm waters, there is that potential for development. Right now, odds are pretty low, only at 20% in terms of this turning into or developing into a tropical system, a tropical depression or a tropical storm. But I do think it's going to have some rain for us. That's why we have the 20% by Sunday and even into Monday. But mostly just a few showers closer to the coast. Otherwise, today, 97 the high. It's exactly average for the day today. The record high, 103, set back in 1969. Eagle Pass 84 now, 77 Rock Springs, 88 Gonzales, Pleasanton 84 degrees, 88 officially here in town, and Hondo right now at 84. And of course we feel the humidity. It's sticky out there. Dew points, lows to even mid 70s. We're feeling that mugginess. Tomorrow morning, 77, mostly cloudy. Then some sunshine, 97 into the afternoon. And I think by and large will be under 100 for most of our area. Canyon Lake about 98, Poteet, Stinson even 97. 99 on Thursday. Wouldn't surprise me if we hit 100, then 99 again next Tuesday. If we do, we'd be tied for first place for the all-time count.
No one's excited, Adam.
I want to get it out of the way.
Yeah,
by the way, these hips don't lie is the quote of the newscast.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. All right, Greg Simmons loves to go camping with the Cowboys, especially if he gets to enjoy the California weather.
And now we get to enjoy it even more because they've actually extended their contract with Oxnard. When we come back, what do the Cowboys have to say about wrapping up their training camp on the very day they actually extend their contract? And we have some Uvalde volleyball underway tonight coming up. Our San Antonio Spurs have signed free agent forward Alize Johnson to expand their front court. According to ESPN, he's agreed to a one-year deal worth $2 million. A 6'8", 26-year-old most recently played for the New Orleans Pelicans, but just 4 games there. He also had stops in Washington, Chicago, Toronto, Brooklyn, and Indiana, with just 1 start overall and no more than 23 games at one team.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys officially broken camp in Oxnard, headed to just south of Los Angeles to finish up their workouts with the Chargers on Wednesday and Thursday before facing them in their second preseason game in Los Angeles on Saturday night in SoFi Stadium. It all started in Oxnard on July 25th. Today, the Cowboys took a train to the Chargers camp for dual workouts for the next 2 days. In fact, the Cowboys announcing today they've signed a 3-year contract extension to continue their training camp in Oxnard through the 2025 season. What did veteran offensive lineman Zach Martin think of the work they got in?
Obviously, there's still a lot we can improve on, a lot of time before the season actually gets going. But I think guys came out here ready to work, and we put in some, just under a month, I guess, between here and Denver and the Chargers. So it was a good month out here.
Cowboys did have to cut 5 players today to get down to the required 85-man roster, including wide receiver Ty Fry-Vogel. After beating the New Orleans Saints in preseason opener 17-13 on a last-second touchdown, the Houston Texans went back to work today to prepare to take on the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams on Friday in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Among the cuts made today to get down to that 85-man roster limit, Chad Beebe, the son of former Buffalo Bills wide receiver Don Beebe, to go along with Jordan Jenkins, running back B.J. Emmons, and long snapper Harrison Elliott. One of the keys this year is improving the run game, and we saw a glimpse of that Saturday when rookie Dameon Pierce put on a show with 5 carries and 49 yards. One reason why Scott Quisenberry was brought in from the LA Chargers to improve the offensive line.
Just as a unit collectively, I know for a fact that we're working together more as one, and communicating a lot better and just relying on each other to be in the right place at the right time. And, we had some good runs on Saturday night, and, we're going to have the mentality to carry that over into this game against the Rams and then the next one and then into the regular season.
Texas Longhorns have lost 2 key players due to serious knee injuries suffered in their scrimmage over the weekend. That's after both 5th-year senior guard Junior Aguilar and wide receiver Isaiah Nayar tore their anterior cruciate ligaments. Aguilar started 34 games over the last 3 seasons, and Nayar was a transfer from Wyoming, was expected to take some of the pressure off of Xavier Worthy, who was the team's leading receiver last season. Alabama transfer Agilia Hall has been suspended for his arrest on trying to pry a boot off his car.
My job as a coach is to put our players in the best position to be successful, not just in football, but in life, in the classroom. I felt like this situation called for that. This was not something that was based off of one incident. This is something that was a body of work that I felt like I need to help the young man, and that's what we're going to do. And I think that he's been very receptive to it, and hoping when he does come back and join us, he's going to be in a really good spot to help contribute to the team.
All right, Uvalde's first volleyball game since the tragedy, and we are there next. The KSAT Pigskin Classic 2022, presented by your San Antonio area Chevy dealers, is just over 1 week away from this Saturday, and part of the big triple header in the Alamo Dome on August 27 will be the Steel Knights. The Knights are coming off a great season in which they finished 11-1, ran the table in the regular season just like the Brennan Bears. In fact, that's who the Knights will face in the third game of our triple header starting at 7:30 on that day. They ranked 16th in the state in Class 6A by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. They are expected to be the team to beat again this year in District 27 6A with head coach David Signs welcoming back 13 starters and includes 8 on offense, led by quarterback Vincent Connor with over 1,500 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, and running back Jaden Bailey with 1,000 yards rushing, another 12 TDs.
It's going to be an amazing atmosphere, hearing the crowd, and we're the last game, so hopefully people can stay and watch. And I know I got some parents and cousins out of state that can also watch. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere, almost college feel.
It's exciting because not every high school player is going to get the experience of playing the Dome. Everyone's going to be able to watch us anywhere.
It's a great atmosphere. It's anytime you get to play in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, it's great for our kids, it's great for our community, and our kids are looking forward to it.
Sorry, David, we'll fix that. Volleyball is back in Uvalde, where the Lobos are taking on Dilley in their home opener at Harvey Kinchlow Gym. Home team jumps out early in the first set. Delilah De La Garza serves up an ace. Lobos go up 10-6. Lady Wolves have an answer. Jaslyn Bradshaw spikes at home down the middle to pull Dilley within 2, but Uvalde pulls away late. Mialani Garza goes to the back line and gets the call. The Lobos 3-2. More highlights on reaction, by the way, on our website at KSAT.com. Congratulations. This is all part of that healing process to get back to that normal life in Uvalde.
Have to be a lot of emotions, not your normal volleyball game there.
No.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back after this.
All right, check this out. Families gathered in Mexico City for the first Circus Alebrijes. It's a parade. It happened over the weekend. Alebrijes are traditional Mexican folk sculptures of animals, sometimes seen during the Day of the Dead holiday.
Ooh, can you believe we're just a few months away from that?
I know.
It's going to be awesome. All right, on the
Muertos Fest.
Yeah, let's talk about the Day of the Dead holiday. A reminder that KSAT's going to be broadcasting the largest Dia de los Muertos festival from Hemisphere this October. We had those details on our website. Good night.